Welcome back, wanderer of the stars. Tonight, we drift upon a river not made of water, but of time. It flows through everything that exists, silent and unstoppable, carrying mountains, clouds, memories, and dreams alike. You can feel it now, if you listen closely. Every heartbeat, every breath, every passing thought, all ripples moving across this endless current. We spend our lives believing we stand still, yet every cell within us is moving, changing, becoming. We are never fixed, we are flowing. This river began long before the first dawn. It carried the birth of stars, the song of oceans, the whisper of trees learning how to grow toward the light. It flows through you now, through the carbon of your bones, the iron of your blood, the breath in your chest. The atoms that form your hands once blazed within dying suns. The calcium in your bones once rested in shells beneath ancient seas. Even the air around you holds the exhalations of creatures long, vanished dinosaurs, ferns, forgotten winds. You are the living memory of everything that ever was. Listen. The quiet murmur beneath your thoughts is gravity's song. The slow swirl of air around you is time reshaping itself with every breath you take. Nature does not rush, yet nothing is left undone. Mountains move grain by grain. Stars are born in silence, live for eons, and fade with grace. And somewhere, between their beginning and their end, you drift a single flicker of consciousness, aware for a moment of the infinite. The same forces that turn the stars are flowing through your veins. The same patience that guides the cosmos whispers within your dreams. There is no separation between you and the universe, only continuity. You are the river, and the river is you. Each truth we discover tonight is not a cold equation, but a lantern placed along this waterway soft light to remind you that you are not lost in time. You are time, carried by the current, luminous, eternal. So rest now. Let go of the shore. There's no need to resist the flow, it will take you where you belong. Let your thoughts drift like leaves. Let your breath slow until it matches the rhythm of the turning earth. You are floating steady, calm, unafraid. As night folds its dark wings around the world, the river carries you onward gently, endlessly toward peace. Now, let's begin our journey. Through the current of time itself, one tranquil truth at a time. If you walk into a forest at dawn, before the first bird sings, the air carries something different, a faint coolness that feels alive. Every leaf is breathing, exchanging invisible gifts with you. As you inhale, you draw in oxygen released by trees during the day before. As you exhale, you return carbon dioxide, which they will use to grow when the sun rises again. It's a partnership older than language. The pulse of your lungs mirrors the rhythm of the forest. Scientists call this gas exchange, but in truth, it is conversation, one that has never stopped since life began. Beneath the soil, networks of fungi carry whispers between roots, allowing trees to share nutrients, warnings, even comfort. A fallen tree does not vanish. It feeds the next generation. You may feel small beneath their towering branches, but in the stillness, the forest recognizes you. You are part of its breath, part of its endless exhale. Twice each day, the oceans breathe, drawn by the gravity of the moon. The tides are Earth's heartbeat, rising and falling in vast, slow waves that never rest. You can feel it even if you live far from the sea. The atmosphere, the crust, even the groundwater move gently in rhythm with the lunar pull. This motion keeps the planet balanced, cooling the climate, guiding the migrations of countless species. The sound of waves rolling onto shore is not random. It follows the mathematics of rhythm, a rhythm that mirrors the resting human heart. When you listen to the sea, your pulse unconsciously slows to match it. In that synchronization lies calm, a reminder that we are all, in our own way, tethered to the moon, breathing with the tide. Far beneath your feet, the earth exhales heat. Volcanoes are not eruptions of rage, but releases of pressure, slow breaths of a living world. Each one vents the energy trapped deep within the mantle, renewing the crust, creating new islands, new soil. The ash they release feeds the land with minerals that forests depend on. Even the most violent eruption carries a purpose: to recycle, to renew. When the molten rivers cool, life returns almost immediately, sprouting from blackened stone. In that cycle of fire and rebirth lies one of nature's quietest teachings. Destruction is never the end, only transformation. Every raindrop has traveled the world. The water that touches your skin tonight once drifted in clouds above mountains, once froze inside an ancient glacier, once rippled through coral reefs long before humans existed. Rain is the planet's most tender memory, returning to every place it has ever known. When it falls, it carries the scent of renewal, petrichor, the fragrance of earth meeting water again. Each drop reflects light like a tiny lens, scattering color, feeding rivers, waking seeds. As it runs through the soil, it becomes part of you once more. In time, that same water will return to the clouds. The cycle never breaks, it only flows. The wind you feel tonight began as sunlight. When the sun warms the earth unevenly, air begins to move. Slow at first, then fast, carrying warmth and scent, pollen and whispers across continents. The molecules of air that brush your cheek might once have drifted above the Sahara or circled the peak of Everest, or crossed oceans unseen. Each gust carries fragments of stories, invisible particles from every living thing. The wind is the atmosphere's way of remembering, of mixing everything that lives into one shared breath. When you listen to the soft hum through leaves, or the faint sigh outside your window, you are hearing the oldest song of all, the voice of air itself, shaping and reshaping the world. Every beam of moonlight that brushes the waves began as sunlight, reflected, softened, and made gentle by distance. When it strikes the sea, it becomes liquid silver, painting ripples that move like thoughts half remembered. The moon does not shine by its own power. It borrows the sun's fire and returns it as calm. Every creature that has ever lived beneath the night sky has felt this quiet rhythm, the turning of the moon shaping tides, migration, even sleep. When you stand by the ocean and watch the tide breathe in and out, you are feeling gravity itself made visible. A silent dance between moon and water, between light and motion, between stillness and flow. The moon teaches the ocean patience, and the ocean teaches us to rest. Beneath your feet, far below the crust, molten iron swirls in vast, slow rivers. That motion creates the planet's magnetic field, an invisible shield protecting all life from the sun's fierce wind. You carry a fragment of it too, a faint magnetic rhythm in your heartbeat, measurable but unseen. Migrating birds follow it across oceans. Whales use it to find their way through the dark. Even bacteria swim by its lines, turning with the quiet geometry of the planet's breath. If you hold a compass, its needle trembles toward north, but it is not pointing at a place. It is aligning with motion. You are part of that motion too, a body inside a field inside a universe of spinning iron and light. When sunlight falls on a leaf, the impossible happens. Photons, tiny packets of energy, strike chlorophyll and are transformed into sugar, into structure, into growth. Light becomes life. Energy becomes tenderness. Every forest, every blade of grass, every petal of every flower is made of sunlight that decided to stay. The oxygen in your lungs tonight is the echo of that ancient process. A quiet conversion happening billions of times every second. Unseen, yet sustaining everything that breathes. Photosynthesis is not just chemistry. It is a daily miracle. The Earth's way of saying, I remember the Sunday, and I will keep it safe until morning. Every pebble you touch, every mountain you see, is a record of time written in patience. Rocks are the planet's diary. Each layer formed by fire, pressure, or slow accumulation of dust and shells and silence. In their minerals are the fingerprints of oceans long gone, of forests turned to stone. To hold a stone is to touch something that has outlived storms, floods, civilizations. The atoms within it vibrate quietly, slowly, echoing the same energies that move inside your bones. Even the ground beneath you hums faintly with those ancient frequencies. In their stillness, the stones remind us that endurance is its own form of grace. Look up, and you'll see rivers of air turned visible. Each cloud a sculpture made of sunlight and vapor, forever changing, never finished. They drift with no destination, shaped by temperature, humidity, and chance. Yet they hold the planet's balance, shading deserts, carrying rain, reflecting warmth back into space. From above, they form patterns that look like oceans of light, fractal, infinite, and calm. The next time you watch one dissolve, remember, it is not vanishing, only returning. Every wisp of vapor joins the endless cycle, rising, falling, becoming rain, fog, snow, and mist again. Clouds are the Earth's poetry, written in air, erased by time, and rewritten anew each day. And as the moon climbs higher, and the world turns beneath it, the air around you softens. The sound of your breath becomes part of the rhythm of the planet itself. You are already floating within the story nature tells in silence. Every sunrise is a quiet promise kept. Across billions of years, the sun has risen without fail, spilling warmth across oceans, peaks, and sleeping cities alike. It burns not in anger, but in generosity, sending light 8 minutes through the void to touch your skin. That same light nourishes every plant, drives every breeze, fuels every heartbeat on Earth. Its fire is both fierce and tender, a balance of destruction and creation. When you close your eyes and feel its warmth through your eyelids, you are feeling photons older than memory. Each ray carries the same message, whispered endlessly through time. You are alive because I shine, and somewhere within you, atoms once born in that fire still remember their origin. When snow begins to fall, the world forgets how to hurry. Each flake spins gently through air, landing without a sound, layering the earth in silence. No two flakes are alike, each one a frozen map of the air it traveled through, shaped by humidity, temperature, and chance. Under a blanket of snow, even forests grow hushed. Sound bends, light scatters softly, and time itself seems to slow. The calm you feel watching it fall is more than beauty, it's biology. Your heartbeat slows. Your breathing deepens. Your brain releases waves of relaxation. Because snow carries a frequency of stillness the body understands. And when it melts, it becomes part of the rivers again. A gentle reminder that nothing pure ever truly disappears. You never see it. Yet, it is the most constant presence in your life. Gravity, the silent architect of existence. It pulls oceans into tides, holds the atmosphere around the planet, keeps your feet grounded even as the Earth spins beneath you at 1,000 miles per hour. Without it, there would be no stars, no planets, no bodies to breathe. It shapes galaxies, bends light, and curves time itself. But it also holds you, tenderly, always bringing you back, always reminding you of your place in the vast design. Every time you lie down and feel your weight against the bed, that is gravity's embrace. The universe is not pushing you down, it is holding you close. Flowers are not silent. They speak in colors, scents, and vibrations too subtle for human ears. Each bloom emits chemical signals to attract pollinators, to warn neighbors, to ask for rain or Sunday. Bees can sense their electromagnetic fields. Butterflies follow invisible ultraviolet trails painted upon petals. When you walk through a garden, you are stepping into a world of whispers, a symphony of scent and wavelength. The fragrance that reaches you is a story of survival and generosity. It tells you, I have found light. I have turned it into sweetness. The next time you see a flower open, imagine it breathing with the world, giving and receiving with every moment of bloom. Mountains are not still, though they seem eternal. They rise and fall, shift and sigh with the slow patience of continents. Each peak began as molten rock, folded and lifted by unseen forces beneath the crust. Even now, they continue to grow or erode, millimeter by millimeter. Their slopes shape weather. Their presence births rivers. Their shadows create valleys where life blooms. When you stand before one, you feel awe, because your body recognizes its age, its pulse, its quiet power. The wind that brushes past you has touched stone that once lay beneath the sea. Mountains remind us that stillness is only movement we cannot yet perceive. Each wave that rises and falls carries a memory of the wind that shaped it. Energy travels through the sea, whispering across thousands of miles, until it kisses the shore and fades. No wave is ever the same, yet all are connected, an unbroken conversation between air and water. The sound you hear, that gentle, rhythmic hush, has been proven to calm the nervous system. It slows your heartbeat, balances your breathing, releases tension from the mind. To the ocean. This rhythm is effortless to you. It feels like peace. The sea does not ask you to listen, but when you do, you remember what harmony feels like. Each wave that breaks teaches you to let go and begin again. Miles below your feet, the earth glows. Molten rock moves like liquid amber, slow, unstoppable, patient. That deep heat warms groundwater, forms new crust, and fuels geysers that breathe steam into the sky. It's not chaos, it's balance, energy rising and returning in cycles older than time. Volcanoes and hot springs are its gentle surface expressions. In Iceland, in Japan, in Chile, the warmth you feel in the earth is the planet's pulse, and in its quiet rumble lies comfort. The earth is not cold or dead, it is alive. Still creating, still reshaping, still dreaming beneath us all. You are surrounded by air, always, yet you almost never feel it. Every breath you take presses softly against your skin. The atmosphere above you weighs more than 5 quadrillion tons, and still, it holds itself in perfect equilibrium. If you could see it, you would see rivers of motion, eddies curling around trees and towers, sighing through mountains and across plains. Even now, Molecules that once touched the lungs of ancient animals drift quietly through you. The air is not empty. It is history, memory, motion. When you pause, fly the radiant, feel the faintest brush of breeze, that's the universe reminding you. You are moving within something vast, invisible, and kind. In the heart of a thundercloud, millions of tiny ice crystals collide. They build tension, charge, potential, and then a release. A flash that bridges sky and ground in a single heartbeat. Lightning is nature's way of equalizing, of finding harmony between imbalance. Its light illuminates clouds from within, carving rivers of plasma across the sky. That energy splits oxygen, creating ozone, the scent of a storm's renewal. And after the thunder rolls away, silence follows, clearer, purer. Even in its power, lightning teaches stillness, every strike followed by peace, every noise followed by calm. Beneath the soil, thousands of tiny seeds wait. Some will sprout tomorrow. Some will sleep for decades. They rest in darkness, trusting time, temperature, and touch to wake them. Inside each is a perfect design, a spiral of DNA, a promise written in silence. Some seeds can survive fire, flood, even centuries of drought. When the right moment arrives, they open, and life unfolds without hesitation. Their patience is not passive, it is wisdom. The seed knows what the mind forgets, that growth needs stillness first. Every tree, every forest, every field began in that small, unhurried miracle. And now, as you breathe a little deeper, you can almost feel the same stillness within you, waiting, patient, ready to bloom when the light returns. The aurora's silent song, high above the poles, where night stretches long and thin, curtains of light unfurl across the sky. They ripple, shimmer, breathe, in colors too delicate for words. Green, violet, crimson. A slow dance of charged particles meeting Earth's magnetic field. Each beam you see began as a whisper from the Sunday, a gust of solar wind that traveled 90 million miles through the void. When it reaches our planet, the magnetic field bends and guides it toward the poles, where atoms of oxygen and nitrogen awaken in brief, glowing song. The aurora is more than beauty, it is conversation. A gentle collision between worlds, sky and star, silence and sound. If you listen carefully in the frozen stillness, some say you can hear them faint crackles, like the sigh of static or snow. But the true sound lies deeper, in how it moves your breath, how it stills the heart. To see the aurora is to watch the earth itself dream. Every wave of light, a pulse of protection, of warmth, of connection to something greater. When you close your eyes, you can still feel it, that cool electric calm wrapping around you, reminding you that even in darkness, there is motion, there is music, there is wonder. The fields that feed the world. Across plains and valleys, the quiet fields stretch toward the horizon. Each blade of grass, each stalk of wheat, each trembling petal of wildflower holds sunlight transformed into sustenance. Beneath the soil, roots weave together, sharing nutrients, messages, balance. A hidden civilization of care. The hum of bees above, the sigh of wind through grain, the warmth of soil between your fingers, all parts of a single system. Plants breathe in what we release and return what we need. It is the oldest promise the earth has ever made. Every harvest is a ritual of gratitude, light becoming nourishment, time becoming life. When dusk falls and shadows lengthen, the fields shimmer faintly with dew, water returning home to rest before the next dawn. The world feeds itself in cycles, patient, generous, endless. and in the scent of fresh-cut grass or warm hay, your body remembers what it means to belong. The earth asks nothing, yet gives everything, quietly, faithfully, again and again. The breath of deserts. In the vast quiet of a desert, silence hums. Sand shifts beneath invisible fingers of wind. Dunes move, though you cannot see them move. By day, the air shimmers with heat. By night, it cools into silver clarity. Deserts are not lifeless, they are simply slow, cautious, deliberate. Life hides in shadows and beneath stones, blooming for mere hours when rain arrives, then sleeping again for years. Each grain of sand was once part of a mountain, eroded by time and patience. The desert teaches endurance, simplicity, faith in return. Its winds sculpt more than land, they shape thought, softening edges, polishing stillness. When you walk there, sound falls away, leaving only your pulse and the whisper of air over stone. And in that quiet, you hear something rare, the sound of nothing, the pure hum of existence unadorned. The rainforest's endless pulse. Beneath a canopy of green so dense that sunlight turns liquid, the rainforest breathes in layers. Each drop of mist, each cry of bird, each heartbeat of insect merges into one continuous rhythm. Here, life does not pause, it flows. Roots climb trees, plants grow upon leaves, rivers weave through roots like veins. Every second, millions of unseen exchanges occur, oxygen released, moisture lifted, shadows shifting. The air itself feels alive, rich, humid, generous. Rainforests produce nearly 1/5 of the oxygen you breathe, but they are the lungs of the planet. But beyond science, they are also the sole places where evolution experiments endlessly with color, sound, and light. If you listen, you can hear the planet speaking in 1,000 voices. And when the rain falls, it does not cleanse, it blesses. A reminder that creation never sleeps, it only breathes. The deep calm of the ocean floor, miles beneath the surface, beyond sunlight, beyond sound, there lies a world of eternal twilight. The ocean floor vast, slow, sacred. Here, pressure is immense. Yet life thrives in ways still beyond our understanding. Creatures glow softly in the dark, bioluminescent hearts beating like tiny lanterns. Thermal vents exhale warmth, building entire ecosystems around invisible chemistry. Sediments drift down like snow, settling quietly over centuries. Each layer a story of time, memory, and change. There is no rush here, no urgency, only patience. Even sound travels differently, slow, muffled, tender. If you could float there, you would hear nothing and everything, the pulse of the planet itself. The deep sea teaches the oldest truth, that peace is not the absence of movement, but the balance of it. Even in the darkest depths, life glows, quietly, endlessly. And now, as your breath steadies, and your heartbeat falls into rhythm with the tides and wind, you can feel it again, the pulse of the natural world, deep and constant within you, guiding you, soothing you, reminding you that you are part of this balance too. The fire that remembers the stars. Every flame you see, every candle, every spark from a campfire is a small echo of the stars. The chemistry of combustion, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen began in stellar furnaces billions of years ago. When you strike a match, you awaken ancient light. Energy once trapped in the bonds of life, now freed to dance once more. Fire is neither friend nor foe. It is a transformation, the turning of matter into warmth, smoke, and color. It feeds on oxygen and offers heat. It consumes and it gives. It destroys and renews. Forests need fire to seed and heal. Some trees can only grow after flames have passed. The warmth of your hearth, the glow of candles, even the lightning that births ozone all trace back to this cosmic inheritance. Each flicker reminds you, creation and destruction are not opposites. They are rhythm, like inhale and exhale. When you stare into a flame, you are watching matter, remembering where it came from. And, in its quiet crackle, you can almost hear the stars breathing through it. The quiet wisdom of grasslands. Across the vast open plains, the grass sways like an ocean, green waves rolling beneath the sky. Each blade bends and rises again. Resilient, patient, humble. Grasslands hold the bones of balance. Too much rain, and they drown. Too little, and they fade, yet they endure. Their roots weave deep into the soil, holding the earth together, storing carbon, feeding herds, cooling wind. The scent of dry grass after rain geosmin carries memory older than humanity. In that fragrance lies a story of cycles, growth, decay, rebirth, the promise of continuity. The prairie wind hums low, like a steady breath across time, a song that soothes both land and spirit. Nothing here rushes. Nothing competes. Everything simply coexists. And when the sunset spills gold across the horizon, the world feels still, grounded, whole. Grasslands remind us that beauty does not shout. It whispers and endures. The Earth's inner core, the heart of motion. At the planet's center, beneath rock and mantle, lies a sphere of molten iron and nickel. It spins faster than the crust above it, like a hidden heart beating deep within. That movement generates the magnetic field that shields the world from solar storms. Without it, the air would fade. The oceans would vanish. Life would end. You will never see it, never touch it. Yet you feel its gift every day, in compass needles, auroras, and your very breath. Even the planet itself must have rhythm, must turn within, to stay alive. Each pulse of molten metal sends invisible protection into space, wrapping the Earth in an unseen embrace. The next time you stand barefoot on the ground, remember, there is fire beneath you, loyal and constant. A reminder that strength often hides in silence, and that the heart of the world beats, even when we forget to listen. The gravity between the stars. Look up at night, and what you see is not emptiness, but connection. Gravity holds galaxies together, binds stars into spirals of light, weaves space into patterns vast beyond imagination. Every planet, every moon, every breath of dust moves in response to this invisible thread. It is not a force of pulling, but of belonging. Even now, as you sit beneath your roof or under your blanket, the gravity of distant suns reaches through the dark to brush against you. It bends light, slows time, and hums softly through the vacuum. Without it, stars would scatter, and so would we. It is the universe's quiet promise that nothing drifts alone forever. Even isolation has its orbit. Even stillness has its connection. The stars are not distant strangers. They are part of the same fabric that holds you, breathing, turning, glowing. The echo of the sky. How sound travels through air. Sound is air in motion, pressure shaped into rhythm. Invisible waves carrying memory and meaning. When you speak, your breath becomes vibration, moving outward in ripples that never truly vanish. Even whispers travel colliding, fading, absorbed by walls or trees or time, yet leaving trace. The wind bends them, slows them, carries them further at dusk, when the air cools and grows still. The songs of birds at dawn, the rustle of leaves, the hush of distant thunder, all are languages of motion. Sound connects what eyes cannot reach. It bridges distance with resonance. When the world grows quiet, listen. You might still hear the faint hum of the earth itself, a note so low it takes machines to detect it. But your body feels it all the same, because every cell inside you vibrates, softly, endlessly, with the same invisible music of air. And as those waves fade into stillness, as the earth turns softly beneath you, you realize that silence is never truly empty. It is only sound resting, waiting, ready to be born again. The secret life of rivers. Every river begins as a whisper, a trickle of melting snow, a bead of rain gathering courage. It grows as it travels, joined by streams, valleys, and time. Each bend, each ripple, each shimmer of sunlight on its surface tells the story of movement and return. Rivers carve mountains, feed plains, and carry silt that becomes new soil, new life. They are not only pathways for water, but for memory, transporting the essence of the land through every curve and fall. In every drop flows a history of clouds and stones, of storms and stillness. Fish follow their current as if guided by instinct older than the stars. Birds trace their paths as they migrate. To stand by a river is to feel time moving, not rushing, not waiting, simply flowing. The sound of running water slows the heartbeat, synchronizes the mind with its rhythm. And when it reaches the sea, it does not end. It becomes part of the tide, part of the breath of the earth. A circle that never closes. The heat that shapes the continents. Deep within the planet, the mantle swirls in slow, relentless motion. It moves mountains like clay, drifts continents like leaves upon water. Tectonic plates slide and collide, creating earthquakes, volcanoes, valleys, and peaks. This process, unseen, unstoppable, is the Earth's heartbeat at the scale of eons. Every step you take rests on stone that has journeyed across the planet over millions of years. India once met Asia to raise the Himalayas. Africa slowly divides to form a future ocean. You may not feel it, but you stand on a moving world. A living sculpture forever unfinished. And through that motion, heat finds release, life finds renewal. The same energy that once birthed fire beneath the crust now shapes the air you breathe. The earth is not a place beneath your feet. It is a traveler, and you are journeying with it through time and space. The seashell's spiral, geometry in silence. Pick up a seashell, hold it close to your ear. You might hear the faint sound of the sea, but what you're truly hearing is resonance air moving through chambers of perfect proportion. The spiral of a shell follows the golden ratio, a pattern that appears in galaxies, hurricanes, and flowers. It's the universe's favorite shape, efficient, beautiful, endlessly recurring. As the creature grows, it adds to its home, each new chamber larger, but never breaking the pattern. Even after it's gone, the shell remains a fossil of mathematics, a memory of balance. When you trace your fingers along its ridges, you touch time folded into form. Every curve tells you something ancient. That beauty follows law, and that law is never rigid. It breathes, it adapts, it sings. The seashell is a song frozen in calcium, a quiet proof that nature thinks in art. The pollinators dance. At dawn, the flowers open, soft mouths ready to taste the light. Bees emerge, their wings humming at a pitch tuned perfectly to loosen pollen. They dance a language of angles and vibration, telling one another where nectar waits. Butterflies join, moths follow, even tiny hummingbirds dart like jewels in the air. Each carries life between blooms, unseen messengers weaving invisible threads of fertility across the planet. Without them, forests would fade, fruits would vanish, the chain of abundance would falter. But they ask for nothing, only space to move, light to guide, and silence to work. Their motion is not chaos. It's choreography, millions of creatures moving to one rhythm of generosity. If you stand still in a field of flowers and listen, you can almost feel the planet's joy. A music made of wings and sunlight, keeping everything alive. The cosmic dust that made you. Between the stars, there floats dust not gray, not dull, but luminous. Particles of carbon, oxygen, silicon, born in the death of suns, long before our world existed. That dust drifted for eons, until gravity gathered it into planets, oceans, and breath. Every atom in your body, your bones, your blood, your eyes was forged in a star's collapse. When you touch your skin, you touch the memory of supernovae. When you exhale, you return part of yourself to the universe that built you. You are not beneath the cosmos. You are within it. A pattern repeated in galaxies and cells alike. Even your heartbeat mirrors the pulse of stars, hydrogen burning, expanding, cooling. The universe did not happen to you. It happened through you. And tonight, as you breathe beneath the same ancient sky, you are stardust remembering itself. And as you drift deeper, your thoughts slowing into orbit, the boundaries between self and nature begin to fade. You are the river, the dust, the flame, the wind, and the universe is breathing through you. The forest at night, the pulse beneath the silence. When night falls over a forest, the world does not sleep. It simply changes its rhythm. Roots still move water. Sap still flows. Branches sway gently as air cools and settles. Beneath fallen leaves, billions of insects stir, and the soil hums with life unseen. Owls glide soundlessly between trees, guided by hearing so precise they can catch a mouse by heartbeat alone. Plants, too, shift in the dark, their pores opening to drink in moisture from the air. The forest breathes differently at night, slower, deeper, softer. Even the wind seems to whisper rather than move. If you walk there quietly, you'll hear the hush between sounds, a stillness so complete it feels alive. In that quiet, your pulse begins to match the rhythm of the trees. And for a moment, you understand that night is not the absence of life, but its most intimate hour. When the earth exhales and dreams, the wind that shapes the world. The wind never stops moving, only changes form. It sculpts dunes, bends trees, carves canyons grain by grain, yet you cannot see it, only what it touches. Every breeze is born from sunlight, unevenly warming the earth. From deserts to oceans, that warmth becomes motion, invisible fingers rearranging the sky. It carries the scent of rain, the dust of continents, the pollen of forests. In each gust, the planet shares its breath between north and south, sea and shore. The same air that brushed your face today may one day sweep across another world entirely. You are always connected to somewhere else through wind. And when you close your eyes and feel it pass, you are feeling the oldest force that still remembers the first dawn. A reminder that even the unseen can move mountains. The song of birds and the architecture of air. Each morning, before the sun fully rises, the air begins to vibrate with birdsong. It is not random, but patterned scales, intervals, phrases that calm and awaken the human brain. Studies show that hearing birds lowers stress hormones, because the mind recognizes these frequencies as safety. When birds sing, it means the world is still in balance. No predators near, no storms coming. Their voices are shaped perfectly for air, curved waves carried by the density of morning coolness. Every chirp, every trill, every call bounces off leaves and trunks, weaving a living tapestry of sound. You are listening not only to music, but to architecture. Air becoming art. When the sun climbs higher, the song fades, as if nature herself is whispering, "You may begin your day now, the world is safe." And somewhere deep in your body, peace blooms in response. Ancient, instinctive, true. The tide pools, where ocean and earth embrace, along rocky shores. When the tide recedes, it leaves behind small mirrors of the sea. Tide pools. Tiny universes where anemones bloom, crabs scuttle, and starfish drift lazily across pebbles. In these shallow basins, sunlight dances upon water, creating worlds that exist only for hours each day. Here, life has learned to adapt to breathe both water and air, to endure both drought and flood. Each pool is a breathing lung of the coastline, inhaling the tide, exhaling renewal. Children peer into them with wonder, but the creatures inside are ancient survivors of millions of tides before human eyes ever saw them. The boundary between sea and land is never fixed. It's a soft handshake, a gentle agreement to share. In that shimmer of foam and reflection lies a lesson. Balance is not stillness. It is motion, returned endlessly to center. The light that paints the sky, dawn's first breath. Before sunrise, the world holds its breath. Then, faint at first light begins to gather behind the horizon, scattering blue, gold, and rose through thin air. This light bends around the planet's curve, touching mountaintops before valleys, clouds before ground. The color you see is the sky remembering the Sunday, molecules bending its rays into visible warmth. Every dawn is new, but the process is the same as it was 1 billion years ago. A promise renewed, a pattern without fatigue. Birds stir, leaves unfurl, and even stones hold a little more warmth. The light does not rush it, unfurls, gently, deliberately. When you open your eyes to it, your brain releases serotonin, the chemistry of joy. And for a moment, you understand what the earth has always known. That light is not simply to see by, but to feel alive within. And as the first rays spill softly across the sleeping world, you breathe in the hush before motion. You are the dawn. You are the breath. You are the gentle turning of light into life. The memory of rainbows. When light meets water, the sky remembers how to sing in color. Each droplet becomes a prism, bending white light into a spectrum of hidden hues. Red stretches wide. Violet curls close. And all the colors in between shimmer for a moment before vanishing. No two people ever see the same rainbow. Each view is personal, shaped by angle and position. It is not an object, but a phenomenon, a brief marriage of sunlight, moisture, and perspective. The air becomes a painter. The rain becomes a canvas. And you are the observer that completes it. Every rainbow is both real and illusion. Proof that beauty can exist only in cooperation. When you stand beneath one, you stand inside geometry and grace the universe refracted into its gentlest truth. A reminder that even light must sometimes pause, to become color, to become wonder. The breath of caves, beneath the surface of the earth. Hidden from daylight, the planet breathes in silence. Caves inhale and exhale as temperatures shift, drawing air through narrow passages. Their walls drip with mineral tears, water carrying stories from centuries past. Every stalactite is a record of patience, each drop of calcite a frozen moment of time. The air inside smells of stone and stillness. Cool, damp, eternal. In this world without sun, creatures glow faintly: blind fish, translucent insects, colonies of quiet life that never need light. The cave teaches what darkness can mean: not fear, but depth; not emptiness, but rest. When you sit in that silence, the earth feels alive around you, breathing slowly through stone lungs. You begin to understand. Even the ground beneath your feet dreams. The salt of the sea. Taste the sea on your lips, and you taste the memory of stars. The salt in the ocean, sodium, chloride, magnesium, was forged in ancient suns and carried to Earth by comets and storms. Every wave holds fragments of everything that has ever lived and died, dissolved, and reborn into water's endless memory. That salt preserves, balances, heals. It makes life possible and movement graceful. Even your blood mirrors the sea's composition, proof that we did not simply come from water but remain part of it. When waves crash and mist fills the air, tiny crystals return to the wind, drifting back to land to begin the cycle anew. The sea never forgets, it simply transforms. Each breath you take carries atoms that once floated in its depths. So, when you listen to the ocean, you are hearing your own chemistry calling home. So, the breath of mountains and sky, high above the tree line, where air grows thin and clouds brush against stone, the world becomes quiet. Each gust of wind carries both chill and clarity. Thin oxygen flowing through lungs, made to remember effort. Mountains shape their own weather clouds, condense around peaks, snow gathers, and rivers are born. When sunlight strikes the ridges, it scatters in all directions. The blue you see is not pigment, but the sky itself made visible. The thin air slows thought, deepens breath, widens silence. In that altitude, you can almost hear your heart echo, each beat aligning with the steady rhythm of the Earth's pulse. To stand on a summit is not to conquer, but to listen. The mountain does not care for triumph, only for stillness. And in that stillness, your spirit expands until it fills the horizon. The golden geometry of sunflowers. Stand before a field of sunflowers, and you are standing inside mathematics made visible. Each seed in the heart of the flower follows a perfect spiral, the Fibonacci sequence, a pattern found in galaxies, pine cones, and seashells alike. Nature's most efficient design for growth, balance, and symmetry. Sunflowers turn their faces to follow the sun, a movement called heliotropism, storing warmth, feeding bees, creating harmony between light and life. If you trace the spiral inward, you find infinity folded into something so simple, so humble. The flower does not think. It simply aligns with radiance. Even in darkness, its seeds remember where the light once was. When you look at one closely, you see more than petals and pollen, you see order disguised as beauty. Proof that the universe loves both precision and grace, and that every pattern, no matter how grand, can bloom quietly in a single stem. And as the petals close, as the wind softens across your skin, you can almost feel the invisible mathematics of life unfolding all around you. Patterns, breathing, light turning, existence repeating itself in perfect, gentle rhythm. The silence between stars, between every star, lies distance so vast it defies thought. And yet, that space is not empty. It hums, faintly, with invisible light, with gravity's pull, with particles that drift like ancient dust. Scientists call it the interstellar medium, a cosmic ocean made not of water, but of silence and possibility. Here, new stars are born from clouds of gas that collapse under their own weight, glowing to life where once there was only dark. The space between things is what allows them to exist. If all matter were touching, there would be no sky, no breath, no thought. So the universe leaves room vast, serene, infinite for everything to move and become. When you gaze into the night, you are not looking into nothingness. You are looking into the pause between heartbeats, the stillness that lets creation rest and begin again. Even in the coldest reaches of space, warmth lingers in the memory of light, in the waiting for dawn. The rhythm of sleep in living things. Every living being knows rest, even if it does not close its eyes. Plants fold their leaves at night. Corals slow their pulse. Whales drift in half-conscious slumber while still moving through the sea. Sleep is not absence, but recalibration, the body's way of aligning with the planet's rhythm. Humans share this circadian music with every other creature that breathes, tied to the rotation of the Earth. Our cells follow a 24-hour symphony, waking, feeding, repairing, dreaming, all timed to the whisper of sunlight and shadow. When you fall asleep, your brain's waves synchronize with slower patterns found in the tides, in forest winds, in the steady drift of clouds. You become part of the larger exhale, the planetary pause. And in that stillness, the universe resets itself through you. You do not leave the world when you sleep. The world moves through you more quietly. The desert at night, fire beneath the stars. When the sun slips beneath the dunes, the desert transforms. The heat retreats into the sand, and the air cools so quickly it feels like a sigh. Above, the stars bloom by the thousands, sharper, closer, burning with ancient fire. The horizon disappears, and the sky seems to bend until it meets the earth. Each grain of sand glows faintly under starlight, reflecting time's endless patience. In that vastness, silence has texture, depth, weight. The creatures of the desert emerge now: foxes, owls, beetles, all moving softly through shadow. If you lie on your back and listen, you can hear the faint crackle of cooling stone. You are alone, but not lonely. The universe feels near, awake, watching. The desert at night reminds you that even the emptiest places are full of quiet fire, the water that never dies. Every drop of water that has ever existed still exists. The molecules that quench your thirst today may have flowed through the gills of ancient fish, frozen in a glacier, or drifted in a comet's tail. Water is the planet's oldest traveler, shape-shifting endlessly from vapor to rain, river to sea, ice to cloud. It carries memory without decay, washing, feeding, sculpting, sustaining. It falls as tears and rises as mist, forms storms, feeds roots, fills veins. It never stops moving. It only changes form. And through it, all life remains connected, every creature sharing the same eternal current. When you drink, you are part of a ceremony billions of years in the making. You do not consume water. You borrow it. And one day, it will flow through someone else's breath, someone else's dream. The light that never ends. Light never truly disappears. Even when it fades from sight, it continues stretching into wavelengths too long for eyes to see. Every photon released by a candle, a star, a heartbeat of lightning keeps traveling, forever. Somewhere, in the far corners of the cosmos, the glow of your childhood laughter still moves outward, soft and eternal. Light is the universe remembering joy. It paints the edges of clouds, glimmers through leaves, dances on water the same light, reborn every moment. When you close your eyes, traces of it remain in the warmth on your skin, in the gentle afterimage that lingers like thought. The universe began with light, and it will end in its embrace. Because light is not just energy, it is memory. And as long as it travels, you will never truly be gone. And now, as these 50 truths settle softly around you, like leaves, like stars, like breath, you can feel the weight of wonder turning light. The world still hums, the universe still listens, and you are already drifting with it. And so, we have wandered together through 50 gardens of wonder, each fact a petal of light, each truth a seed carried by the wind of thought. You have heard the laughter of rivers, the patience of roots, the ancient hum of stars being born. And somewhere along the path, the rhythm of the earth began to echo softly inside your chest. Listen. That steady pulse beneath your ribs is the same rhythm that moves the moon across the sea. You are not observing the world, you are part of its growing. The stories of oceans and forests now flow within you. They rise and fall with your breath. They shimmer through you like sunlight beneath green leaves. Outside, the wind continues to wander, brushing against sleeping hills. The ocean turns, faithful as ever. The stars bloom overhead, patient and bright. Nothing has ended, it all continues, endlessly weaving life from silence. And as the universe hums in its vast balance, so may you rest in yours. There is no line now between you and creation. You are the garden itself, the soil, the light, the song. Let yourself dissolve gently, like fog melting into dawn, like pollen drifting on wind, like thought fading into dream. The cosmos will hold you. The stars will keep watch. The night will cradle you in its infinite hands. Breathe once more, in and out. You are the whisper of nature remembering itself. Thank you, traveler of stillness, for breathing with the universe tonight. Until the next dawn, when the first bird sings and the light returns. Sleep deeply and dream in the garden of stars.